Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mecha Mike. And just real quick, you please like, comment, and share this video so I keep giving you this fire content. So I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have already seen the title. And today is a special day in football, especially if you're a Cowboys fan. It is draft day. And like I said, if you're a Cowboys fan like me, it's super important day, especially since the Dallas Cowboys have done they've done nothing free agency. So this draft will definitely be a make or break time for us. And it's really going to show us if Jerry Jones is serious about winning this year. So since this is draft day, um, I'm just going to go over my first and the final mock draft, and I'll be posting this today. So hopefully my picks align with what Dallas is doing. They definitely need a lot of things in the draft. So hopefully they take a look at this and they see that we need to get certain guys. And if you get certain guys and they're drafting in this certain fashion, then it'll tell me and a lot of fans that, okay, they're serious about winning this year. So we're just going to go over the draft needs real quick. If you've been watching the Cowboys, you know for a fact that can't stop the run. Cannot stop the run. And for me, when you're trying to stop the run, it always starts from the line of scrimmage. So this is my draft needs in order of what I believe the Dallas Cowboys need. And it's not where, like, for example, if I say the draft need is A, it doesn't mean they need to draft that number one. It just means you need to get good talent at that position, but you also need to make sure that you're getting the right guys that fit a particular system that you're trying to implement. Especially with bringing Mike Zimmer, we all know that he likes big defensive linemen. Um, so that and linebacker play is very important in his defensive scheme as well. So for me, number one, I believe the most important draft need that the Cowboys need to get is defensive tackle. And obviously, like I said, if you watch the Cowboys, you saw the Green Bay Packers game, you know for a fact that we need defensive tackles. We invested too much into getting edge rushers. And I get it's a passing league. You need to have guys that can rush the passer. But we did not have any depth at defensive tackle, and it came back to bite us when we needed them the most. For me, the second draft need of the Dallas Cowboys, and this showed, it showed badly because in Dan Quinn's scheme, he didn't prioritize linebackers. Yes, we had injuries at linebacker, but that wasn't a priority. He thought he could just replace that with bringing in safeties. It obviously didn't work, especially against Green Bay or anybody from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. It didn't work. So for me, number two, draft need linebacker. Number three, and this one is a little bit annoying because we lost a Hall of Fame left tackle in Tyron Smith. But the good thing is Tyler Smith can play left tackle. And the picks that I have based on this, my scenario is if Tyler Smith stays at left guard. He more than likely, I would rather he play left tackle because he's done it before and he's consistent at it, as opposed to going and getting a rookie. But it just really all depends. I still think Dallas will invest in getting a left tackle, but it just depends. It could be the first pick, could be second pick. They could trade down. But I just really think in this draft class, there's a lot of good, solid left tackles. So you definitely got to get you one of those guys. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how good the quarterback is. If the offensive line is shot, you're in trouble. So number 4 draft need, center. We lost Tyler Biotish, and no knock to him. He was a solid center, but for me, he was a difference maker. So losing him didn't really hurt us. I think we have depth already with some of the guys that didn't get starting time. Uh, but I still think if they don't go left tackle in the first round, they have to go center. If you think, okay, we need to go center, there's 2 guys I really feel they need to draft in the first round if they don't go left tackle. Um, Number 5, running back. We lost Tony Pollard. Uh, Zeke was washed when we had him towards the last couple years, and I just really think we need a explosive running back that can do the best of both worlds. Got to be able to run, pass, well, not pass. Oh, wow. Got to be able to run and catch. If you want to pass, that's great. We don't need that. But we need a running back that can do a little bit of everything and block. We need someone. I would say we need a bigger back. But they have to have that explosive burst. But again, that all doesn't matter if you don't have the offensive line. So that's why I'm like, you really got to invest in the offensive line first. And I don't know what it was last year. For some reason, the Cowboys were just not good at running the ball consistently. And which is a little bit surprising, especially we have 2 solid guards at Tyler Smith and Zach Martin. So it just didn't make sense why we weren't able to run effectively. For me, I think it might have been our blocking scheme was just off, or just how we tried to run the ball just wasn't effective. But I really believe if we can get that right running back around, but you gotta have a good offensive line around that right running back. That's going to make us less predictable, so Dak doesn't have to throw over and over and over and over again, and then all the defense has to do is just sit in coverage, just wait for him to make a mistake. So I just believe if we continue, if we're going to get a running back, which is a need, we have to have the offensive line first, and then get you a good running back. I would be a little bit mad if in like the first 2 rounds they go running back or receiver, because I feel like receiver wise we just need speed. We need speed at the wide receiver. We had guys like Michael Gallup that effectively just shut down a whole side of the field. So it was just CeedeeAmb and Brandon Cooks, and that was really it. So if we add someone that can open up the field for CeedeeAmb, we're gonna get spooked. We're gonna be spooked. So I just really need Dallas to. Okay, you can get the running back, and then the final need is the wide receiver. You can get those guys, but you can get speed in the draft. Don't make that unless there's a guy that you know is a difference maker on day 1 that will just blow off the top on defenses. If not, do not do it. Just wait till later on in the draft. So let's see. So let's draft. So this is, like I said, the scenario that I had set up for the Dallas Cowboys when it came to the draft was Tyler Smith is staying at left guard. And if he's staying at left guard, I believe this is going to be the philosophy that Dallas will have to draft in order to take that next step, because you're going to rely on these rookies and the players you already have to take that next step. Because a lot of people were saying, I saw all the analysts saying, oh, Dallas Cowboys, all the guys they lost. The only guy I wish we could have kept was Tyron Smith. I think we didn't do Tony Pollard due diligence, but I don't think losing Tony Pollard hurts our offense. Losing Tyler Smith, not or Tyron Smith, and not having that solid left tackle does hurt our offense. All those other guys that left, I do not care about. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. Those guys are not difference makers in Dallas's offense or defense. For the more core guys, we got Diggs coming back. Him and Deron Bland are just going to be vicious in the secondary. Micah Parsons just disruptor. And for me, one of the best in the league right now. So those guys on defense can hold it down, but we need to fill in those gaps. So like I said, the interior defensive tackles, and we got to add linebackers so we can have Micah Parsons just be very, very disruptive all over the field. I don't want him strictly as a pass rusher. Depending on what the offense is showing you, he can play coverage. He can. We need to put him in a place that he can succeed, but lazily just saying, "Oh, we're going to let him get one-on-one, and then we're just going to rush the passer," is just bad because teams are going to counter that. Which, okay, we'll just run at him. We're going to tire him out. So by fourth quarter, he's not going to have that much of an impact. So we need to build a team that is less predictable on both sides of the football. So let's get it. So coming in the first round, and also this is if Dallas doesn't make any trades. This is just how things are right now. More than likely, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even draft in the first round, or the second round or third round pick, they just trade back down just to acquire more picks. But this is just how the picks are right now. And if they just decide to draft and don't not only draft, but they're not making any trades, or just going with what they have right now. So coming in the first round pick for the Dallas Cowboys, pick 24, I believe the Dallas Cowboys will go with Amarius Mims out of Georgia, left tackle. From watching this guy's film, I jotted down some notes, and he's straight up a day one starter. He will definitely be Tyron Smith's replacement, and him with Tyler Smith on the left side. Oh my goodness, that's going to get spooky. Him at left tackle will take our run game to another level because it was already bad last year. But you get a 6'7", 340-pound left tackle along with Tyler Smith, who's just straight mauler on the run game. Man, that left side's going to be spooky. They're going to be straight destroyers on that left side if we go into the left. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm definitely picking Amarius Mims out of Georgia as the first round draft pick. If he falls to us, I'll definitely go for that guy. For round 2, the Dallas Cowboys at pick 56, I believe they should draft Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of NC State. This guy, for me, when I saw him run that 40, man, this guy's a pure athlete. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, and runs a 4.4. That is scary. And I know a lot of people say, oh, he has injury history. Oh, Cowboys had Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch had injury history. It's NFL. Guys are going to get hurt. You could be a guy with no injury history. You come into the NFL, you get hurt, and then you're cooked. It happens. But I don't think you pass up on guys like Peyton Wilson. This guy, his instincts, his speed, he will be a top NFL linebacker. If he's there in the second round available, Dallas, you must draft this guy. And for me, I think the thing that really stood out to me is he reminds me a lot about like the player I would say he reminds me most of is Luke Kuechly. And of course, we saw Luke Kuechly with all the concussions, ended his career early. But this guy, Luke Kuechly, was one of the most instinctual linebackers, and it didn't matter where it was. Pass coverage, run defense. He was always near the ball, flying around, making these big plays. And I feel like Peyton Wilson will be that guy for the Dallas Cowboys. You pair him up with Micah Parsons, no man, it's gonna get scary because Micah Parsons is not gonna have to worry about the run defense as much because you could run at Micah Parsons, but then you're gonna have Peyton Willis coming backside to clean it up. Man, that's gonna be a scary duo in Dallas. Um, Coming in round three of pick 87, the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, should draft Dwayne Carter, defensive tackle out of Duke. This is a big need for the Dallas Cowboys. They need a D tackle. And especially what I like about Dwayne Carter is when you watch his film, super aggressive. He pushes the pocket and is a very good pass rusher on the interior. So you're not just getting a big guy that can clog up the hole, but he's also, from what I'm seeing, a really good pass rusher at his size. He's 305 pounds, so very big dude. And he gives Dallas the badly needed depth at defensive tackle with the ability to stop the run. And like I said, pass. He's a pass rusher. Both things that Cowboys love, especially on the interior lineman. And I think Mike Zimmer's going to love a guy like that in Dallas. So, don't have a fourth round pick. We traded that pick for Trey Lance. I don't have much to say about that. But Jerry wants to. That's his pet project, so just got to deal with it. So coming in at round 5, pick 174, the Dallas Cowboys should draft Cornelius Johnson, wide receiver out of Washington. This guy will be amazing to pair up with CeedeeAmb because he runs a 4.4. That's pretty given for most wide receivers. He has decent route running, but what I loved when I was watching his film is he really sells the double move really well on defenders. And on top of that, 6'3", big receiver, so he can be paired up in the run game. And this is why I go to certain sets. If you have guys that can do multiple things, he can block and he can run routes. It makes it difficult for defensive coordinators to look at the guy and say, "Oh, you're bringing in this guy, so I know you're passing." But if it's a big wide receiver with speed, you can fit him in different packages to where the defense really doesn't know if you're throwing or you're running. And I think that element of surprise is what Dallas needs offensively. So like I said, 6'3", big receiver, is going to be paired well with CeedeeAmb, so we definitely need to get somebody like that. I'm tired. Yes, you need the slot wide receiver, but because Dallas wants to get better at running the ball, you need those guys that can set the edge. And if you have the size, especially like those breakout runs, those stretch plays, if you don't have a solid wide receiver out there, a lot of those corners and safeties can just come down and just blow up the play. We definitely don't want that. We need to make bigger plays in the run game. And I feel like if you have those guys that make it difficult for defenses to tell what you're doing, it's really going to help open up the offense for everybody. So for the next round, round 6, pick 216, the Dallas Cowboys should select Jordan Jefferson, defensive tackle out of LSU. So when I was watching this guy, some of the things that stood out to me is he just straight up run stuffer, plain and simple. In Dallas, like I said, we need to stop the run. And he is that guy to take on those double teams and keep linemen from being able to get up to the linebackers. He's 6'4", 317 pounds. So just a big guy that will be super, super disruptive in run defense. So with him and Dwayne Carter, so Dwayne Carter, the pass rusher, Jordan Jefferson, the run stuffer, and they both are interchangeable. Man, that's gonna be spooky. Especially, I really feel like in the draft, Dallas has to get at least two interior defensive linemen. And I'm not talking about those guys that, unless they're really, really solid in run defense, I don't want a guy under or even close to 280. I want big defensive linemen, 300 plus pounds, that can really hold the line and keep these really elite offensive linemen from being able to push the pocket. Because if Dallas can stop the run, especially early and often, when that pass rush gets to them, they'll be unstoppable on defense. We can stop the run. You're gonna have to throw against Deron Bland and Diggs. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be scary. So that's the what I feel like Dallas needs to do on the defensive end. They got to get those two defensive linemen and actually use them to the best of their abilities to really stop the run. So we have two seventh round picks. So for round 7, pick 233, the Dallas Cowboys should draft Jace McClain. Oh no, McClellan. I'm sorry. Jace McClellan, running back, Alabama. When I was watching his film, and of course, Alabama running backs are all known for this, uh, aggressive running back. And the one thing I really, really liked about, and that stood out to me about this running back, is his jump cuts. Very, very patient jump cuts. So when he's running up the line, I like guys that will sell like they're going right and they'll jump cut left. So you having all the defense selling to one side because that's where you're thinking he's going. They jump cuts in the other direction and it just throws everything out of whack. You can get those 2-3 yards out of those plays. And not only does he do those jump cuts, but he's very patient. So very like Le'Veon Bell-esque type ball style. That's the vibes he gives me when I watch him. So I think if Dallas were to get a running back like that, especially someone that just doesn't just hit the hole, you need guys that are patient like that and they can get that extra yardage. Because some guys, if the hole's not there, they don't realize, they just try to just shoot the gap, and sometimes it's not always the smartest thing to do. So if you can get a running back that's a little bit patient, that can kind of get you those extra garbage yards, it makes a difference. Because you can be a 3-6 or 3rd and 6, you can be a 3rd and 3. I'll take the 3rd and 3 every single time. So on you just getting those couple yardage makes a difference. Game of distance. So if you can get those guys that can, that especially that running back that has that speed, the aggressive runner, not somebody like, oh, you hit him once he goes down. You need someone that can go through that main tackle, stiff arm you, just will put those defenders in the dirt and not afraid of contact. So I think if we get this guy from Alabama, it'll be definitely a good upgrade if we get the offensive line around a guy like this. So you wouldn't need to get that top 5 running back. You can get a guy that's very manageable, that'll get the job done if you build the pieces around him. And for me, the last pick of round 7, pick 244, I really thought this guy is super, super underrated. I'm surprised he's not. Uh, well, there's a lot of good guys at his position, but I think this guy is going to be very, very impactful and could be a steal. Whether you get him in the 7th round or as an unrestricted free agent, I think they should really get this guy. The Dallas Cowboys at pick 244 should draft Steel Chambers, linebacker, Ohio State. And like I said, he's very, very sleeper pick. And from some of the guys I've seen, might be the sleeper pick of the draft. Very, very instinctual linebacker. And I'm gonna go out on a limb to say this. Now, I know people say, "Oh, how can you say that? This is crazy." But watching his film reminds me of Fred Warner, and Fred Warner is one of the top linebackers in the NFL, if not the best. And to get a guy that's similar to that in the 7th round will be a big steal, especially for the Dallas Cowboys with the lack of depth at the linebacker position. You get a guy like this who is very similar to Fred Warner. Oh my goodness. And I know it's big praise, but I feel if you give this guy an opportunity, he will show out. So, Dallas, please, please, please do something similar to this in the draft. Don't play games. Don't go in the 1st round, go drafting a wide receiver or running back. I feel like that would be dumb. Get the guys that you need in order to compete. If you're serious about winning a Super Bowl, you cannot stop the run with the roster that you have right now. Get the defensive lineman. Invest in building a team. Dak is your quarterback. He was in 2nd in MVP. Get him a solid offensive line and a run game, and you will see the magic that this man will do. And build a defense. You saw what Dan Quinn did, wasting people's time, going just straight man coverage, simplistic offense that came back to bite us in the end. You know what you need to do, and I think the mindset of Zimmer, and I know McCarthy knows. He knows. If anybody is not biased, you know what Dallas needs to do. I don't care about those flashy picks. I don't care about drafting no tight end. Get the guys that you need and go in there, build a scheme, and compete. So this is the draft scenario the Cowboys need to follow if they want to win. They gotta do this. No more games, no more talk, not we're all in. Do something similar to this, and this will prove to me that you were trying to win. So, oh man, it's draft day. Um, it's going to be interesting what the Cowboys do, but if they follow this blueprint, they don't have to do exactly these guys, but they have to do something similar. They do this, oh, it's going to be interesting season. They still at the end of the day got to put it together and win games. But I feel if Dallas does this, man, they're gonna be scary. I don't care about Houston, Philly, 49ers. You do this, oh, we'll be right back up there. So, man, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this content. Again, please like, share, comment, and let me know if you agree, disagree. Do you think Dallas will follow this blueprint when it comes to the draft? I hope so. But I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. And until next time, I'm your boy Mecca Mike, and I'm out.